Aren't drag queens just adults who like to play dress up? I mean, yeah, but that's also anyone in theater. There's a whole culture behind it, so it's a little more complex than just playing a game, but yes. It's cross-dressing with lots of theatricality mixed in. Drag shows will have lip-syncing, dance routines, and talent show style stuff. A drag queen is kind of like putting on a character with a very big personality. I mean, yeah, basically. Drag itself typically involves some kind of performance or the creation of an entertaining character. People who just like to cross-dress aren't necessarily drag queens. There's been tons of cases of men wearing a dress grooming children and raping them, while taking tons of money from their parents. Wait, no. That's the Catholic Church. There is an actual official MAGA drag queen, but she calls herself a costume artist to get around the hate from MAGA people. One of the worst drag queens I have ever seen, and the hypocrisy is appalling. It's like pro wrestling except with singing and dancing instead of body slams and elbow drops. You're missing absolutely nothing. If they called it Panto Queen Storytime and had the exact same people wearing the exact same clothes telling the exact same stories to the exact same audience, there would never have been an issue. The real men in the dresses who are a threat to your kids are the ones who tell them stories on Sundays. It can be. But also trans women have historically been pretty active in the drag scene. And for them it's not always just dress up, but could have been the only opportunity to express their gender. Not just dudes. Women also do drag. Well, yeah, kind of. But so are those middle-aged guys who run around reenacting the Civil War. It's fun to play pretend at any age, apparently. Yeah, pretty much. I think it gets muddled a little bit because there are some people called transvestites who get sexually aroused from the act of dressing up. Drag queens aren't necessarily transvestites, and people get confused thinking drag queen book time. Lady has a boner the whole time. TLDR. Ignorance and fear. It's a broad range of things. Drag is intrinsically very personal. It can be a reflection of what you wish you were, what you're proud you are, what you think is funny, anything about yourself or your surroundings that you want to bring attention to. It's an art form, a hobby, a vocation, and sometimes a competition. A cosplayer at nerd conventions is a more literal an adult that likes to play dress up the way children do. Drag has a more complex subculture around it that isn't exactly sexual, but it's not sexual too. In the UK there is a whole culture and history around drag queens, especially in theatre, pantomime, etc. Historically you can't race back to ancient Greece even. There is a rich and varied history, and the culture of it is fascinating. Ian McKellen, Gandalf, often does drag for theater and pantomime. Adults play dress up a lot under so many circumstances. I'd say yeah, they're just really good and often way prettier than me high heel crown. You defined a crossdresser. Drag queens have the queen aspect, which is generally an over-the-top diva personality. Aren't actors just adults playing pretend? Aren't rock stars just adults who like playing guitar? Aren't athletes just adults who like to play games? Why do all those adults playing get treated like some type of professionals and entertainers? Weird, eh? And actually I think it's super dangerous to let delusional adults like Chris Evans pretend to be a superhero because he's trying to make kids wear spandex too. I recommend watching Paris is Burning. It's a documentary on drag culture and gay culture in the 80s and 90s. In essence, Drag as we know it was a thing created by gay and trans people to make fun of gender stereotypes and expectations while also helping trans people practice passing. They'd hold balls where people would do drag for specific categories. Butch femme, muscle queen, high femme, fantasy, etc. And they'd win trophies. It was essentially runway shows. They'd also do shows for gay bars and bathhouses. With the growing acceptance of gay people, drag became folded into performance spaces and evolved into the lip-syncing comedy shows we see today. It's queer LARPing. No harm, no foul.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicuricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.